Hello everyone, you're watching CardyGolf. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Good afternoon and welcome. It's a fly in my face. It's a beautiful day here at Hindlesham Golf Club, and today we're talking about that stuff. It's that time of the season again when the greenkeepers at most clubs are starting to all grow up. As the summer comes, the ball's going further, the ball's rolling faster, that the golf courses need that little bit of extra protection. Okay, so what happens when you go in the rough? Do you know the right thing to do, the right club to use, and are you using the right technique? So I'm just going to let you check out my first lie now. So as you can see, the ball's very, very buried, sitting very, very deep. I've still got way over 200 yards to the hole. So the first thing I'm doing is accepting the fact that I can't make it, and I now need to decide what club I can use to get out of that rough. Now most of you will realise, but it's important for those that don't, the flatter the golf club is, the more difficult it is going to find to travel through the thicker grass, purely because there's more of it to go through. Okay, the longer club, generally the wider the swing will be as well. There'll be more rough for the club to travel through. It's got less of a sharp leading edge and it's going to struggle. Now with a high lofted wedge, so I've just got my gap wedge out here. Okay, I'm going to probably make a slightly steeper swing into the golf ball, therefore less grass for it to travel through, but also it's got that slightly sharper leading edge once again, so it can cut through the grass a little bit better, hopefully see the ball pop out a little bit higher so the ball doesn't have to travel through so much grass either, and I'm going to get the ball to advance somewhere hopefully down the fairway where I want it to go. One thing that is really important and probably overlooked by most golfers is to make sure when you get into the rough area that you find a piece of rough that looks similar to where your ball's in and have a couple of practice swings. Quite often you might find that actually it doesn't feel as it looks, so you might get in there and be able to take a huge chunk away quite easily because the grass is quite soft and not as lush as it first seemed, and actually then you can go for a slightly more aggressive club choice. But for me, out of that one, the grass is really, really thick. I struggle to take any out even with my 52-degree wedge, so I'm going to have to stick with this. So there we go, I managed to get the ball back in my stance just a little bit, just to ensure that I could hit downward enough and not take loads of grass before the ball. The ball come out really well, I made good clean contact. Yes, I've accepted that I cost myself one shot by hitting it in here, but I've not cost myself any more than that because I'm now back in position A. So lie in the rough number 2, I'm going to put that up on your screen for you now. As you can see, it's not sitting too bad. I'm actually just in the first cut here in the semi. You'll notice that just behind my ball there is a little bit of grass. Now that little bit of grass is what's going to cause us a few issues here. The actual lie is pretty decent and I'm pretty sure I'm going to make good contact out of that. The only problem I've now got is because that bit of grass is behind the ball, the ball's going to fly with less spin. The grass is going to get trapped in between ball and the grooves on my club face, and therefore with less spin, the ball's going to travel further. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take one less club from this lie, hit it completely normal just with one less club, and accept that it's going to go a bit further and probably roll a bit further because it's also not going to have that spin when it lands on the green. Okay, that one's back in play too. Okay, so I've managed to find myself in some super long stuff now. The ball is sitting right down. What other implications could there be? Something that you can always find with the general hack out is that the grass snags up with this part of the golf club here, the hosel and the shaft. Okay, so quite a lot of the time you'll be surprised when you go to hit a shot and it feels okay, but you see the ball shoot left. So what you could definitely do, and what I'd recommend doing when the ball's sitting right down, is hacking out but aiming just a little bit right. So when that rough here, which is acting as my hand is acting as rough here, when that hits that rough and their toe just flips, okay, you don't suddenly find yourself shooting left into more rough. Just managed to make it out alive. Okay, so there you go, just a few really quick tips on maybe how better to handle those shots when you do get caught in the rough. Obviously a better tip is just to avoid it completely because it is getting a bit thick and hairy this time of the year. I don't want to go into it any more than that, because I think it's really easy when you get a little bit too informative and educational not to get the point across as well as I might like. So if you do struggle with those shots even after these little tips, please go and see your local PGA pro and just ask them to go through it with you. It's something that's really underlooked at in golf coaching anyway. I'm sure they would absolutely love to spend a little bit of time with you, and you can ask he or she how best to play it, if there's anything you're not doing quite right, because obviously I'm doing these, I can't see you do it. So speak to them and get it all sorted out properly. But in the meantime, very much looking forward to seeing you all again next week.
Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me at CardyGolf on all other social media, and I'll see you next week.